Good morning, Math 2 students, my lovely first period class. Today's Wednesday, 1-5, and today we're going to be learning about rates and unit rates. So get ready to take some notes. You will need a piece of paper, you will need something to write with, and you will also need a calculator. So if you need to, you guys can pause the video so that everyone can go get what they need. They'll need a calculator. You can get one from your locker or you can borrow one from the front of the room. You will need your workbook as well, something to write with and something to write on. So if you need to pause the video, do that now. And when you're ready, I'm going to start teaching. So here we go. A rate is the first thing we're going to learn about today. I need you to copy down this definition of a rate onto a piece of paper. A rate is a special kind of a ratio. It's a ratio where the two numbers have different units. Write that sentence down. A ratio where the two numbers have different units. That is a rate. So yesterday we learned that a ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. A rate is a special kind of a ratio. Only this time the two numbers will have different units. And units are whatever numbers are measured in. It might be, the units might be feet or miles or hours or dollars or gallons or meters or seconds. Those are all units. So in a rate, the two numbers in the ratio have different units. For example, you might drive 20 miles in 4 hours. 20 miles in 4 hours. That is a rate. It's a special kind of ratio where you have two numbers and those numbers have different units. 20 is measured in miles and 4 is measured in hours. So you have two numbers and they have different units. Oh, and they can't be written in the same units. For example, if I did 20 feet in 4 inches, I could write those both in inches, so that would not be considered a rate. But you can't convert miles to hours or hours to miles. You can't write both of these numbers so that they have the same units. So this is an example of a rate. And I know it doesn't look like a ratio, but instead of writing the word in, I could put those two dots, and now it looks like a ratio. Or I could write it as a fraction. I could write this as 20 over 4. That is miles in hours. 20 miles over 4 hours. So now it looks like a ratio. What we're going to be doing mostly in class today is we are going to be converting regular rates, like 20 miles in 4 hours, to what's called a unit rate. A unit rate, and I need you to write this definition down, a unit rate is a special kind of a rate where the second number or the bottom number, if it's a fraction, is 1. A unit rate is a special kind of rate where the second number is a 1. Write that down if you haven't already. A unit rate is a rate where the second number is a 1. So, what we'll be doing in class today is we will be turning regular rates into unit rates. Let's use this as an example, this 20 miles in 4 hours. If that is our rate, then to turn that into a unit rate, we need to make this second number be a 1. What we would try to find is how many miles did I travel in just 1 hour? If I went 20 miles in 4 hours, then how many miles did I go in just 1 hour? How would I figure that out? I went 20 miles and it took me 4 hours. So how far did I travel in just 1 hour? I think we have to divide. We would have to divide 20 divided by 4. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. So the unit rate is 5 miles in 1 hour. That is all we're doing today. In every problem we have to solve today, all you have to do is divide. Write down that word in your notes so you have it written down. Divide. In most, oh, sorry, you can't see that, can you? There you go. See the word divide now? There it is in all its glory. We have to divide to find a unit rate. In most problems, you will be dividing the first number divided by the second number. If a unit rate is a fraction, you divide the top number divided by the bottom number. So in most of the problems we do today, the first number will go into your calculator first. The only exception to that is if you're dealing with money. I want us to write down 2 things, and then we'll do a few examples, and then we'll pretty much be done. So write this down. Usually, the first number goes into your calculator first. Write that down. That's going to help you solve a lot of problems today. When you know that you have to divide to get the answer, but you're not sure which number goes into your calculator first, usually the first number in the problem goes into your calculator first. Most of the time. Sometimes, though, your textbook likes to try to trick you. So here's something else you need to know. And this overrules this first rule right here. If you have a problem involving money, money always goes into your calculator first. Always. Money goes into your calculator. I'm going to abbreviate calculator because I'm feeling lazy. First. Sometimes your textbook likes to try to trick you by giving you the money number second and making you think you have to put the first number in first. But if it's a problem involving money, money always goes into your calculator first. All right, let's make sure you get these 2 things written down. Money always goes into your calculator first, even if they give you the money number second. But for most problems, typically, usually, the first number goes into your calculator first. Now, let's do just a couple examples. Let me see what kind of examples I have here. Let's say, for example, you turn on the faucet in the sink and you pour out some water and you pour out 56 gallons of water in 12 minutes. That's a rate. You poured out 56 gallons of water in 12 minutes. And your textbook tells you to find the unit rate. To find the unit rate, all you have to do is divide. Divide, divide, divide. We're going to take the first number, 56, and divide by the second number, 12. And let me see if I have my calculator. I do. 56 divided by 12 is 4.6 repeating. If your textbook tells you what to round to, then do whatever your textbook says. If it says to round to the nearest tenth, then do that. If it says to round to the nearest whole number, do that. If it doesn't tell you how to round, then you round however you see fit. So I'm going to write 4.6 repeating, and that is gallons per 1 minute. Our faucet ran 4.6 repeating gallons in 1 minute. That is our unit rate. So all we had to do was divide the first number divided by the second number. That is all we're doing today. Let's do one more example involving money. Let's say that you work for 8 hours. And in that 8 hours, you earn $58.50. You worked for 8 hours, and in that time, you earned $58.50. And now you need to find the unit rate. If you're asked to find the unit rate. Now remember, usually in a unit rate problem, you need to put the first number into your calculator first. But what else did I tell you? When you have money, money always goes into your calculator first. So we need, for this problem, to put money into our calculator first. We're going to do $58.50 divided by 8. So this problem, we had to put the second number into our calculator first because it involved money. So $58.50 divided by 8 is 7.3125. And since we're talking about money, why don't we round it to the nearest penny and say $7.31 in 1 hour. That is our unit rate, money per hour. All right, that is our lesson for today. That was pretty quick and simple. All we're doing today is dividing. We're going to be dividing. You're going to have 2 numbers in each problem. You divide them. You just have to decide which number goes into your calculator first. Usually it's the first number, but if the problem involves money, make sure that money goes into your calculator first. You guys are going to do some workbook problems on page 293. On page 293. You are going to try all the numbers on that page, numbers 1 through 13. On page 293, numbers 1 through 13. You can use your calculator. So work out all of these problems, write down your answers. When you're all finished, the substitute can look in the answer key booklet and read you the answers. And then you guys can help each other by coming to the board and going over any problems that anybody missed. If you all finish early, if you are well behaved, then your substitute can give you some free time. If you're not well behaved, then she will have some extra work for you to do. So sit down and do what you're supposed to do. If you guys also behave as a class, then there's no homework tonight. So let's make that happen. Be good so that you can finish early and so that you can have no homework tonight. If you're not good, though, you are going to have extra work to do and you will have homework. So let's sit down, get your work done, be the good kids that I know you are. All right. I love you all. Good luck on your workbook problems, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.